Oh my goodness. I genuinely don't like the way this camera makes me look and everything is backwards. I look crazy, y'all. Okay, you guys. So I told you guys that I would be going live. I'm trying to see like what is the best way to have my face cuz I look swollen, but you guys yesterday was when I had my little mental breakdown as y'all know. I can do it like this. So my eyes are swollen. Okay, so I pretty much said that I was gonna go live to answer any questions or talk about anything you guys wanted to talk about, but there's nobody on this live right now. Okay. So guess what? I'm gonna talk to myself like I always do. Like I always do anyway. I'm always talking to myself. That's literally my job. Okay. So I do have some things here on my little desk. I feel like I look like a weirdo. First of all, check out my merch at alexers.com if you guys want to show your support for me, okay? Second of all, what do I have? What do I have on my table right now? I have my little alien cards, my little alien oracle cards, which one of my followers sent to me. Okay. I have my encyclopedia of unexplained mysteries. Now it says children's, but no, we're all children on the inside. So I have my book. Okay. I have my Brittany Oracle deck because Brittany, she's always with us. Okay. I have my Tree Keepers Oracle, my Dragon Guides Oracle, and my Divine Nature Oracle. Okay. There's a lot of things we could be doing if people were on this live. And then I've got my manifestation journal, which reminds me of my vision journal, which reminds me of Hocus Pocus. And I do have a live on here where I was putting this together, as you guys know. Hey, I think you're the only one on here. Okay, so I wanted to go on live to talk, to give essentially an update. Give an update on my life. Where to begin, you guys? Where to begin? Okay. So if you guys have been watching my stuff, like I feel like my eyes are so swollen because I was crying so much yesterday. And I curled my lashes, but I did not put mascara on, so they do be looking a little weird. But anyways, so if you guys have been watching my stuff, you guys know my journey. But on here on YouTube, I think I posted, let's check when I posted that. When did I post my video of me? I jumped on as soon as I got the notification and I posted a video. I posted a video on TikTok and Instagram saying I was gonna go live. Oh my god. It says, oh, I didn't even put a freaking space between update on and everything. I put on and everything. There's no space for the title of this. Hopefully I can edit this when I'm done. I can edit the title of it because I already made a mistake. Okay, so I don't think it was October of last year. I think it was October of the year before, I believe, that I put, yeah, how much longer? That was a year ago. This video, you guys. This video, how much longer? Okay, I was losing my marbles during that video. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live on this planet anymore. It's too difficult. After that, I feel like things got better. I feel like things got better after that little mental breakdown that I had. Now, that's not to say mental breakdowns did not come, but they were few and far between. I think the next time, now I have been, you guys know, I do shrooms and acid and all that shit. So I think I did acid in, I want to say April of last year. And that was like a final purge that I had for my parents. Um, and then I just kind of like let him go after that. Like I was like, all right, I'm done with them. My eyes look so uneven. Do you guys see that meme where it's like what I look like on the cameras? That's what I feel like. I look like one eye is bigger than the other. Like, what the fuck is happening? This is just not a good look. These cameras make you have a fucking complex so that you do want to change your fucking face. This is why everybody edits the shit out of themselves, because these cameras be making us look weird as fuck. I don't look this deformed in real life. And this is my bad side. And then why is this so much more prominent than this side? If I guess I'd have to do the video the whole like this, but I don't know what is happening with my face. It looks like this. You guys can tell I have like a good side and a bad side, right? Like my face is weird. I feel like this is one face and this is a different face. I feel like I have two faces in me. Like and look, my jaw, like when I talk, it goes off to one side. I don't even know what side. I'm like, I look like two different people. See, I think this side is so cute. Like, this is like my cute side. Look how adorable I look. Okay. This, not the same. Not the same. This, like, also because I part my hair here, bigger forehead. Okay. Bigger eye. Weirder smile. It's just two different people. What if I'm just like a clone? And so I have two different parts in me, too many different parts in me, and I don't make any sense. Anyways, you guys, that's me and my self analogy, criticizing myself. So I'll say that was in April. I mean, I cut my parents off in August of 2022, but I was still dealing with it. And then I want to say in April, I had like my final purge, and then I've been fine ever since. So honestly, I don't remember really crying ever since like April, like really crying and having any purges, even on shrooms or acid or anything. It's been like chill trips. And then the way I cried yesterday over my headphones, it felt like I was purging again. Like I had done some type of plant medicine and I was just like crying, 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 crying. So that was obviously just shit that was stored inside me. What's up, Vanessa? What's up, Divine? So I guess that was just shit that I was storing inside me that I didn't want to let go of. And so then I was like, okay, what am I really upset about? One, yes, I was upset about the headphones, okay? Because they were expensive. They're $200. They were a gift from Ryan in the first place, thank the Lord, but I didn't have $200 to replace them. And then it's like everything else just felt like it was just going to be an imitation of it. And I'm like, I don't want fucking some cheap version of it if I'm used to these already. Now, here's the crazy thing. When Ryan first gave me these headphones, I gave him like so much shit about it because they were they were like extras. He had like ordered two by mistake. He ordered them for himself and then he ordered two by mistake. And so then when I was like, "Oh, I want some wireless headphones," he gave them to me as a gift for like my birthday or something. And I'm like, "You didn't really go out of your way to get me a gift. You literally just regifted this to me that you already had." And so like I was annoyed about that. But he was like, "They're $200 headphones." Like I just accidentally bought two, and instead of returning it, I just gave it to you as a gift. And I'm like, whatever. Like I was being a huge brat about it because I felt like he didn't go out of his way to find me a gift. But then yesterday when we were talking about it, he was like, "What if that was your higher self coming to my higher self and making me accidentally buy two at one time because you knew that in the future you were going to want these headphones?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll give you that one." You may be right. So at the time, I used to get frustrated with the headphones. They like wouldn't be charged. There'd be like one dead. And I'm like, I hate these headphones. I don't want these headphones. Like I was just like, he was like, "Okay, I can get you other headphones if that's what you want." I was like, ugh, I was just like hating these headphones. Like I didn't care about these headphones. Then I just like got used to them. And now it's become like an attachment that I have them on all the time, like while I'm, meditating and doing all this stuff like just it's like being in my own world. And so when I couldn't find them yesterday, I just had like a full on breakdown. And I was like, am I really this upset about the headphones? Like I was really upset. Like I was crying with feeling. And I was like, damn, I haven't cried like this in a minute. Like it's been a good year since I've cried with feeling. And so I was like, oh my God, I used to cry like this over all the time over like real shit, And I'm like crying over headphones. I'm so confused. And then I just think it just was like a combination of things. It was like, okay, I did get attached to the headphones and then I was like, I think it just what like the headphones represented. It's like, oh, I already had these headphones that were like a gift from Ryan and like, Ryan and I have been through so much. And then it's like I use these headphones to like listen to music and get in the zone. These headphones have like gotten me through a lot. And so I guess I became like attached to them and I was like, I'm not gonna feel okay until I have literally the same exact headphones again. So we went to BJ's to eat, and he kept saying, ask a manager, ask a bartender if they found the headphones. And I was like, that's not the bartender that was here last night. They already asked the manager when I called this morning. Why am I going to ask again? He's like, just ask. And I was like, there's no point in asking. I already asked. So we just left without asking anyone. And so when they called and he was like, yeah, I had put them in the safe, so like nobody knew that they were in there. I was like, it wouldn't have mattered if I had asked, because the manager wasn't there at the time. And then I'm like, oh my God, like that's insane. I had given up hope. I had been like, obviously someone stole them. Like, who's not going to steal $200 headphones? They obviously stole them. Like, I lost all faith in humanity. I had just given up. And so we ended up going to Best Buy after. And I was like, "Ugh, Best Buy. This is where I bought my first Britney Spears CD at Best Buy in 6th grade. And we went to Best Buy and I was looking at headphones and I'm like, oh my God, they're so expensive. Like, why are headphones so fucking expensive? And I never cared about headphones. Like, I literally was like, I don't care. Give me the cheapest shit. But after this whole experience, it was like I now needed these $200 headphones. And normally, if I was working like I normally do, because I was always working, like a serving job, like I work. I was always a closer. I always was making bank. Okay. But right now, with this little journey that I'm on, where I'm just trusting the universe every month to provide me my finances, it's been stressful. I've been stressed as fuck. And so right now, I didn't feel comfortable just dropping $200 on headphones, where normally I'd be like, yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Here, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I don't care to spend the money. It's what I want. And it was so tough yesterday, where I almost bought like other brands that were like $80, and I still was like, I don't want to spend $80 on this brand that's like, what the fuck is this brand? Like, I was just stressed out, and I was like, literally, I told Ryan, I was like, I'm going to have to buy the headphones. I'm going to have to buy the headphones again, because I can't shut up about it. I can't shut up until I have this exact little case in my hands again. I got way too attached to it. And so I had been like, yeah, I'm going to have to use some, like, Ryan had some replacement ones. Like, he had other Beats headphones, but they had like a cord in it and I just didn't like it. And then he had some other ones, some cheaper brand. And I was like, I guess I'll use these, but I don't want to. I want the Beats headphones. I was like, I'll just deal with it until I get some more money and I feel comfortable buying the headphones, and I'll just buy them again. And that had accepted it. And then Ryan went and like parked us up like on top of a hill to just like watch the clouds and smoke. And so we were just chilling there. And I was still really sad. And I was just like still so sad. I was like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything today. I just want to be sad. I'm just sad. And then I got the call, and the guy's like, hi, I have your headphones. And I was like, ah, I was like freaking out. Ryan's like, I told you. And I was like, okay, I feel better now. And I'm like, oh, God, I hate being sad. Like, I used to be sad all the time. I used to be in pain all the time. I used to always have something to like be sad about and unhappy about. And like, I hadn't felt sadness in a minute like I felt yesterday. And I think it was just really a lot of things besides just the headphones. I think like everything just came crashing down. Like, the stresses of just doing this. Like, I choose to do this. I choose. My sister and I were talking about it. She's like, you have to remember, you choose to be a content creator. So you have to just deal with it. I'm like, I know, I choose this path. And on top of that, she's like, you're also choosing not to be on a schedule. You're also choosing not to be organized, because my sister is a social media marketing director. Like, that's what she does. So she tells me how to do it. She's like, this is a strategy. This is what you need to do. But you don't listen. You're going to do what you want to do. And then you stress yourself out because you want to do it your way. There's the easier way to do it. This is the guidelines, and this is how you're going to get to where you want to be. But I don't like that way. I'm like, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. I don't want to do it that way. I want to have the results, but I want to do it my way. So then it takes longer and it's harder because I'm not doing what everyone else is doing. I'm not essentially selling out like a lot of people sell out to, become an influencer. Like, I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm trying to build a career out of myself. I'm trying to like provide the world with the knowledge that I've acquired through this journey and help other people. And I am so knowledgeable in so many different things that I know I can provide a lot of different things. On top of the fact, like, not only am I an entertainer, but I'm a teacher, and I'm like, I'm all into this, the spiritual and the, helping guide people. But I think it gets overwhelming because then people think I have the answers to everything, and I don't have the answers to everything. I only have myself to rely on. I don't have family I can rely on. Like, it's just not, I don't have like the people who have like, oh, I have, my parents have money so I can just go to them or whatever, or I can go to, I know I always have this person I can turn to. I don't feel like I have that. Like, I have my sister, but my sister has her own shit going on, and she's her own person, and she is single without kids for a reason as well. And so we don't ever want to feel like we have to be responsible for the other person. But I feel like a lot of people have someone they can lean on. They have someone they can fall back on. They have a parent, they have a family member, they have a best friend. People have a connection with like their kids or their spouse. And like, I really am just alone. And this is why this whole journey began, of me sharing everything on the internet, because I was like, I have no one else to talk to. I'm alone in my world. I'm alone in my own world. Nobody gets me. I don't even get me. So I'm just gonna, I don't give a fuck. Like, when you have no one except for like my sister, thank the Lord for her, but when you have no one, like literally, you just feel so alone. You just don't give a fuck to be like, I don't care who thinks I'm crazy, because if I can just find one other person who's cool and agrees with me, that's more than I had before, you know? And so that's how I felt, where I was like, dude, I I just don't want to keep doing things the way that I've been doing them. So I need to figure something else out. And that's what it is. If you want different results, you got to do different things. If you want something you never had before, you got to do things you've never done. And it's hard. Everyone, I feel like people are okay with settling. People are okay with, yeah, well, this is what society told me I had to do. So I'm okay with doing that. So that's just what I'll do. I can't conform. Yesterday, when I was so upset about my headphones, it was obviously deeper than that. I was literally in the car with Ryan being like, why can't I be simple minded? Why can't I be ignorant? Why can't I have smaller dreams? Why can't I have smaller goals? Why can't I want less for myself? Because it's frustrating to have a vision of more and not attain it and feel like you're not attaining it. And then I have to remind myself, you have, you're here now. Like, this 5 years ago, you never would have thought you would have been here. So then I have to remind myself of like, okay, remind yourself of the little steps that you've taken, which are really big steps, which 5 years ago you would have been in shock of where you are now. And it's because we're always looking for the next high, the next goal, the next, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're always trying to go into the next step without even enjoying the step we just accomplished. It feels like it's like couples who get in a relationship. They get in a relationship, everybody wants to know, oh my God, when are you going to get married? You get married, oh my God, when are you going to have kids? Okay, you have kids. Oh my God, are you gonna have another kid? Oh my God, what are you guys gonna do? Where are you gonna put your kids to school? There's always something. There's always the next thing that somebody wants to know. What are you doing next? It's like, well, I just accomplished this. Yeah, well, that's not enough. What about the next thing? And so that's what it feels like to be living this, just me by myself. Like, I don't have these goals of, oh, I'm going to get married and have kids and blah blah blah. I have goals for myself, and it's like, I want to reach a larger audience. I want to be known more for what I talk about. I want to be taken more seriously and respected, and realize that like, I'm not crazy. There is actual, evidence to everything that I say, and everything is starting to come out, and I've been able to, do something with the information that I've acquired. And I'm a very unique and different type of person, but this is what the world needs right now. Okay? The world needs people who are out of the box. The world needs people who are different. The world needs people who are creative, who are ambitious, who are driven, who are brave, courageous. Wow, look at me hyping myself up. But that's literally what the world needs. The world needs people who aren't afraid to stand up and speak out. That's what the world needs right now, because too many people are too complicit, too many people are too compliant, too many people are too submissive, too many people are too quiet, and too many people are people pleasers. And this is, we need to stop. We need to stop. We need to stand up for ourselves. We need to stand up for what we believe in, and we need to just make the world a new and better place, because we already are shifted into this new earth energy. And we have to learn how to navigate it, which is hard because we're dealing with old paradigms, old thought process, old systems. We have to reprogram ourselves. So this is not easy work. I think that my mission is to make it look easier than it is. It is easy. It's easy once you understand what you have to do, but it's not easy to force yourself to do it. It's like working out. I don't work out because I don't like to. But the fact that I can meditate every day, and the fact that I am so focused on what I love to do, even though I'm not even getting paid to do this, and I still show up every single day, probably too much, honestly. That just, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking I do show up too much, honestly. I'm going to cut it back a little bit. But you do it because you love it. My sister loves to walk on the treadmill, loves to make her green juice, loves to eat her healthy meals because it makes her body feel good. And we love to see that. Cannot relate. I will eat my tacos and my nachos and my burgers and my wings and my fries, and I don't give a fuck who has an opinion about it. Because it's my body and it's my journey. And I had some people wanting to talk about the reason why I lost my headphones. Hey, sweetie, just want to let you know the reason you lost your headphones is because our guides are telling us that we shouldn't have that Bluetooth so close to our brain because of our brain. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a single fuck what you have to say. If that were true, I first of all wouldn't have found the headphones. And second of all, I don't give a fuck about what your timeline you're seeing, because I'm past that timeline. Because I already saw that timeline years ago. If you think that they are not already tracking you and that shit isn't already getting into your brain and blah, 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 whatever bullshit you want to say, you guys are just catching up, okay? You guys are just catching up. Welcome. Welcome. I understand that we're merging with technology. I understand that we're merging with AI. I understand that this is all connected and it is all one. You're functioning from a place of fear when you're sitting here being scared about the food you eat and the things you did. Fear, 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 fear. You're not going to get anywhere fearing. You have to literally take the fear out of everything. The reason that, like, now, even though I was talking about this shit years ago, the reason that now it's blowing up is because everybody now is getting on the same timeline, which I had been talking about. It was going to happen ever since 2020. I knew we were all going to end up on one timeline. It's like Loki. If you guys have watched Loki, there's one major timeline, right? There's 3 timelines and they merge into one big timeline. That's what happened with us. 2020, 2021, 2022. 2023, everybody started getting on one timeline, and now we're still getting everybody to just fucking wake up and get on the same timeline as the people who were on it since 2020 and prior. This has been going on for ages. This is nothing new, okay? There's conspiracy theorists all the time. People have always been trying to break the patriarchy and da-da-da. This has been a long time coming. I think that the reason now that it's happening as globally as it is, because it has happened in smaller communities, right? But I think the reason it's happening on a global scale now is because it is the age of Aquarius. We're in this grand shift where the planets have aligned. Planets have aligned, all literally like aligning chakras. We're moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. The stars have aligned. The solution is in the universe. The universe is geometry. There is an answer to everything. If you just look, you will find the answers. What have the elites been doing? What have the people in charge been doing this whole time? Using magic, using astrology, using everything that they hid from us. They hid everything from us. And then they used religion to scare us into not using anything, any oracles, like no tarots. Oh no, that's so bad. You can't do that. And some people have chosen to stay in that timeline, and that's their journey. And that's their journey. But here's what we're not going to do. What we're not going to do is go around trying to tell people that that's the only way that they can live. It's like, when I was growing up, I grew up Christian and Seventh-day Adventist, and my mom would be like, you know, trying to act like Muslims were wrong or Buddhists were wrong because they believe in a different God, a different thing. And I'm like, Mom, they're worshiping false idols. I'm like, are you telling me that if I was born in a different country to a different family, I would be going to hell because I was born there and that is my religion and that's what I believe and that's how I'm raised and now I'm going to hell because of it? Like, this is insane thinking. And I would question, and my mom would just be like, yeah, this is what the Bible says. And I'm like, but if they don't believe in the Bible because they have the Quran or something, like, how are we going to tell? Well, they're going to have to figure it out or they're going to go to hell. Like, are you insane, woman? Like, this is an insane thing to preach to people. And that's what religion does. And that's what the United States does. Trying to tell everybody what to do with their fucking lives. Why is the United States in everybody's fucking business? Why are we going to war? Why are we doing these things? Like, it is insanity to me how much of a cult this country is. This country is a cult. People think, oh, you're in a cult because you followed this person. Yeah, that's such a Christian thing to say. Exactly. You're in a cult because you're this religion, or you're in a cult because you followed this, or you're in a cult because of that. We're in a fucking cult right now in the United States of America. Let's be fucking for real. We're in a cult. We are brainwashed to think that we have to be slaves to this economy, to this capitalism, to the patriarchy. We're in a cult. And it's insane to me that people want to sit here and act like, yeah, everything's fine here. We should be telling everybody else how to live their lives. Delulu's delusional. So when people try to argue over that shit, I'm just like, y'all still got so much learning to do, so much growing to do, because it's insanity to me how people think that they can control other people. So when I talk about my videos, I just talk to the people who get it. If you get it, you get it. You can only understand up to the point that you've allowed yourself to understand. You know? If your ego stops you from going further, like my mom and my family is super into conspiracy theories, and I don't understand why it stops at the Bible. It's like she knows, like, oh, there's reptilians, draconians, the shapeshifters. She knows about everything. She knows what's going on in the food and the water and the this and the that, da, 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 all the Matrix shit. She knows all that shit. And then it's like, oh, by the way, did you know that the Bible has been edited? It was she changed from being Catholic to being Seventh-day Adventist because she knew that the Roman Catholics had altered the Ten Commandments and changed the Bible, but somehow still doesn't understand that it's still been altered. Like, it's gone through so many versions. The King James version. King James, didn't he like write a book about how to crucify or whatever witches, how to go after witches or women, because he believed all women were witches. He wrote like another book, and then he also wrote the Bible. Like, he come on, guys, like, we gotta dig deeper. And so I'm like, I don't understand how you believe this stuff, but then your knowledge stops at the Bible. Like, you're not going to go beyond that. It's like, no, 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 because in the Bible it says, if anybody gives or takes away from this, then they will be condemned to hell. Okay, do you think they gave a fuck? Like, be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. And then it literally, like, talks about people being gay, which doesn't make any sense either. Because how are you going to be Christian and believe that God makes every single person, right? He makes everyone. That's why Christians don't believe in abortion. It's a living person. The minute that it's been created, right? It's a person. And then they're born gay. And then they're going to go to hell. Okay, so you're going to tell me that God created this gay person and then sent them to hell. That's why. That would be counterproductive. Why make a person just to condemn to hell? And I used to ask my mom about this. So you're going to tell me that God creates every single person and then makes people gay and then sends them to hell? Well, it's their job to overcome these demons. And girl, bye. This makes no sense. And then you're going to tell me that people can't have sex before they're married. So you're going to tell me that God allows our bodies to have hormones at the age of 11 or 12 years old. You get your period, you can get pregnant, you want to have sex, and then you have to wait till you're married to actually do that. So then what happens? people start getting married at 16 years old, 18 years old, just because they want to fuck. And then guess what? They get divorced or they end up in horrible relationships because the church told them that they had to get married before they had sex. Do we see the problem here? And then do we see why people are so fucked up? Do we see why people are depressed? Do we see why people don't want to be alive anymore when there are so many rules and regulations that they're supposed to follow that make absolutely no sense? They do not align with being a human. It just doesn't make sense. And then the people, believe me, I was very deep in it, okay? So I'm speaking from experience. This isn't me judging from the outside. This is me being on deep in the inside, okay? It feels like no matter what you do, you're not good enough. You're not going to do enough. You're not going to be good enough in the eyes of God because you're always going to be a sinner in one way or another. And then how are you going to tell me, oh yeah, Jesus died for your sins, but now you can't sin. But Jesus died for my sins, so now I also can't sin. So I'm confused. Then why did Jesus die for my sins if I'm also going to be crucified for my sins? Make it make sense, people. It is just so contradictory. But when I was a part of it, I could defend my argument. I knew how to defend my argument because I had the verses to back it up. But this is when I was talking to people who didn't know the Bible, or who most people didn't say like, well, I don't believe in the Bible, because then it's like, well, you can't talk to someone who doesn't believe in something, then there's no argument to be had. You can't talk to someone who doesn't believe something exists and try to convince them it exists, because they have to believe in it first. So a Christian can't argue with an atheist over of the Bible. The atheist will say, I don't believe in it, it's a book. No, but you need to believe in it because I put all of my faith into this Bible that's 100% correct and I believe in it, so you have to believe in it. Yeah, but I don't believe in it, so you can't force. It's like people try to transfer their thoughts into other people's heads and make them believe it, but unless you've experienced something yourself, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe in the power of something if you haven't experienced it. And even if I don't believe in Christianity anymore, I don't believe in the Bible for myself or whatever, I'm not knocking it because it's helping a lot of people. Okay. There are a lot of people who went from the dark side, essentially, the occult, and transferred to Christianity. And that's their path, that's their journey, and that's what's getting them to their most highest timeline. I'm all for that. But as someone who started off in Christianity, I'm not drifting off now to the opposite, to the occult. What I'm doing is I'm taking the positives that I learned and then applying that to my life now. And what do? I learn from all different aspects of life, all different religions, all different belief systems, and I take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because I don't identify as anything. I don't identify as Christian, I don't identify as religious, I don't identify as spiritual. I just identify as a person having the human experience and figuring out what works for me. And I just pick and choose because guess what? I'm allowed to. I don't have to pick one lane to stay in. I don't have to pick one box to be in. I can try every single one. I can try every flavor. I can do whatever I want. The world is at my fingertips. You know, we are infinitely abundant. Try whatever the fuck you want to try. If you like reading tarot, well, okay, read tarot. I don't care. Nobody's gonna be, nobody really, honestly, is really gonna care. You use your tarot to talk to your guides. The guides have to communicate with you somehow. And if you're not able to hear them clearly through visions or dreams or literally see them talking to you or whatever, use the tools at your disposal. Use what you have. You take your tarot and you can call on your guides to answer questions through the tarot. There's so many tools that were left behind for us to use that so many people are afraid to use, like crystals. You know what I'm saying? Like sage. There's protection spells. Like there's so much that we could be doing to elevate our consciousness, to ascend into higher dimensions, to communicate more with other realms. And the more that you let go of the fear and stop limiting yourself and stop having these limiting beliefs, the more that all this shit is going to show up into your reality and you're going to see it. So I'm super happy now with how I do things. I was following that life before because I thought it's what I had to do. I thought that's what I'm here for, I'm here to serve God, so I will do what I'm supposed to do. And then now that I understand that like this is a life that I am free, that I literally had a dream the other day where I heard God's voice being like, "Alex, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm not telling you to be here. You can leave." And I was like, "Oh my God." Like I feel like that's what happened to me when I woke up. It was like I felt so trapped in my life. I felt like I had no choice. I had no options. I had to do what I was being told I had to do. I couldn't work. I couldn't fulfill my dream of being an actress. I couldn't fulfill my dream of being a makeup artist because mostly everything had to do on the Sabbath, on Saturdays, which is when I would be going to church. I couldn't do anything on Friday nights. Like I was very sheltered and boxed in. And it was just difficult to maneuver life when you're like balancing so many different lifestyles, because I had like my Christian life, but I was going to public school, and then I worked at restaurants, which is like a party lifestyle. And so I had just a lot of different lives to balance. And then on top of that, like I was living at home with Puerto Rican parents who are still very old fashioned and want you to stay at home until you're married, but then you don't want to get married. And then it's like a whole thing. Like I was juggling a lot of shit. And because I was juggling so much shit, I was going insane and I hated my life because I wasn't living the life that I wanted to live. I was living the life that I thought I had to live to please everybody else. And it is miserable. It's just miserable. And so finally at like 2019, I was like, I gotta go. I can't do this anymore. I literally wanted to crawl into a hole and never get out. Like, I just would think, like, when is my last day on earth? Like, I'm totally down for my last day on earth. You want to come right now? I'm for it. Let's go. And that's not a healthy place to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are literally looking forward to the day you die so that you don't have to deal with this bullshit anymore, you're not living the life that you should be living. And so, thank God that my sister had been like, "Hey, I'm going to move to San Diego when my lease is up in the summer." And I'm like, "You ain't living here you are not leaving me here with mom and dad." Okay? No. I'm not doing it. They drive me insane. I will be leaving with you. So I jumped on board her little trip, and here we are. COVID ended up hitting and I was like, "What are we going to do?" And she was like, "I'm still going. I'm not letting no little COVID stop me." And we moved to San Diego, and thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I needed it. I needed it. I needed to get away from everything I've ever known, everyone I've ever known, everything I've like literally I just moved there to Lake Mary from Puerto Rico when we were 6, and I lived there until I was 33. And then 33, Christ consciousness began, and that just happens naturally in everybody. You kind of just start going right into Christ consciousness when you're 33, and you start really just kind of waking up. And I think that that's why society tries to act like 33 is such an old age and that you need to get married before that, because I just feel like you're still like, first of all, your frontal lobe isn't done developing until what, like 25 or something. And so a lot of people try to get married so fast, and it's like, but no, you're still growing. And then on top of that, like your 20s I feel like are just your late teens, and I feel like your 30s is when you're really like the new 20s, like okay, you're trying to figure it out. And then I feel like 40s, you like, kind of people are like, okay, I get it now, this is the game. So I feel like they put these ages and try to make you feel like you have to accomplish these things at this time, and you don't. Like, I'm gonna be 37 in 2 months, and I'm literally like a child. I'm literally a child, but also an adult. Like, I'm literally my own parent and my own child. That's what it feels like. Like, I just have to be everything for myself. And I think that that's part of the journey. I think that, like, finding your independence is a part of this our soul's journey, and then finding like your soul family. I think that we're born with family members that are blood related, but it doesn't mean that they're soul related. And some of them are just imprints. Like my parents are imprints from other lifetimes that were put into my memory for me to have a soul connection with them, but they are not a part of my soul family. My parents are used to be come from a reptilian bloodline, and this is their first human life. My sister and I have been humans before, and we came in. We're part of the same soul family. We're like literally twins. We came in the last life as one of the last lives as twins, and we were going to come again as twins this lifetime, but we didn't. We came separate. So I'm first and then her. But when we were little, she used to tell people we were supposed to be twins. And I was like, why do you tell people that? And she's like, we were supposed to be twins. And then I got a reading. Nobody knew this story. I got a reading. Actually, Tana did a reading, a soul reading on my sister and I. And she's like, you guys were twins in the last life, and you guys were going to come in twins in this life too. And then you decided not to. And I was like, there's no way she would have known that. 100%. And we feel a twin connection. We're literally like glued to each other. So um we decided to come in to help my parents' soul evolution, and obviously they helped us as well. Everybody played a role. We have our contracts before we get here. We make our deals and we say, hey, okay, I'm gonna go in, and oh my god, it's 111. And because my parents were younger souls when it comes to an earth soul, like as we know, we have the reptilian bloodline that they took over and they started destroying planets. They destroyed my other planet that I lived on when I was a sea creature. I watched, if you guys haven't watched my QHHT session, past life regression, you guys can listen to it. It's up on here on my YouTube, where I talked about I saw myself being killed by a reptilian. And I was crying during the session, the hypnosis session, because I saw myself being choked to death. And it was these big reptilian hands with long black sharp nails. And if you have seen, here, I'll show it to you. If you guys have seen the baby's like album cover, it looked exactly like that. And I saw that later after I had seen the vision of a reptilian killing me. I saw this album cover literally like a few days later. I was like, what the fuck? That was the reptilian that like killed me in my vision. Okay, let me see. Album cover. Let's see if it'll show up. Okay, this one. So this is the album cover that I saw of the babies. And as you can see, the hands with the long nails, that's what the hands that were around my neck killing me in another planet. So all these celebrities, it's these reptilians. They just came in as humans. And because there's so many, there's this big group of reptilians that came from, I think from Orion mostly, but they destroyed Orion as well. They have been around for like centuries, like more than I can even fathom. Okay, these reptilians have been around, right? And then this big group of them decided that they wanted to take over planets. So they destroyed Mars. Okay, they destroyed Orion. Like they're going through destroying planet, star system. They don't give a fuck. Like they want to have full control of essentially the galaxies. They're delusional. I don't know why they would think that they can take over all of the galaxies, but that's, I think, what they're thinking. So they started going through planets. This has been going on for eons. These reptilian beings are taking over. Okay. Now, what happens is because these reptilians came to our planets and our star system, we have a link to them. We have memories from lifetimes with them where they killed our planet, they killed our families, they killed our people. Okay. So now what's happening is we kept coming back through different lifetimes, through different planets, and kept having to go to war with these reptilians. And the reptilians kept winning because they were stronger, because they knew what they were doing. They came into attack. We were not prepared, right? We weren't prepared to fight them. So now, because energy doesn't cease to exist and we are balls of energy, and consciousness creates matter, we are never going to cease to exist. We will always reincarnate as something somewhere. Doesn't mean as a human or an animal, it means something somewhere in the galaxies. We will reincarnate forever. Okay? Now, it sounds like a lot because we have a concept of time on Earth, but Earth is the only planet that tracks time. Yeah, nothing ever dies. Earth is the only planet that tracks time the way that we do. So it sounds like, I used to get scared of hearing like we're immortal, like you can live forever, like in eternity. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to live forever. That's insane. But time doesn't exist anywhere else but here. So it's not actually going to feel like that. It's just we have such a limited concept of reality that our brain only expands to so much because that's all we've been able to learn up to. But the more that we grow, the more conscious we become, the more we will understand, and we won't be scared of living forever, right? So through space and time, these reptilians have been fighting this war. And this is what the Bible, for those of people who want a Bible reference, this is why people think that aliens are demons, because in the Bible, it's like the fallen angels, right? This is essentially what this reptilian war was. And I believe that the reptilian species had just one last chance because they were the fallen angels that came down to earth, right? You know, in the Bible, when it says, when Satan comes over to Jesus and Jesus says, "Where have you been?" And Satan says, "I've been roaming around the planets to see which one I can take over." Okay, there's a part in the Bible where it says that I've been roaming around the worlds. Okay, and what does he do? He lands on Earth, right? So what I believe happened is these fallen angels, aliens, whatever label you want to give them, are on Earth now. And this was their last chance to take over. I believe that this is what happened with the mud flood. I believe this is what happened with the world fairs I believe that this was like their last 100 years that they had to see if humanity would fall for it again. I believe that we have gone through this cycle so many times, and we have lived so many different lives, and it's like a spiral, and we go and we go and we go, and then we die off, and then we come back again as something else, and then we try it again. But I believe that humanity now, with the help of the universe and the planets aligning and everything, we have activated our DNA with the help of the sun, the help of nature. This is what I believe happened in COVID of 2020. This is what I believe happened, okay? I believe that the elites knew what was coming because it's already been written. On top of that, they had Project Looking Glass, which you guys know I've talked about Project Looking Glass. Project Looking Glass is a CIA document that talked about the military talking about that. Yeah, this breakdowns are helpful because I have to explain everything to you guys because I know I talk about so many different things, and I'm trying to keep it on a timeline that everybody can understand what is happening now. So with Project Looking Glass, this is a CIA document that has been talked about with military people that knew that in 2030 there was going to be a mass awakening essentially, and that there was nothing that they could do to stop it. I believe that the timelines have moved up. I believe that the timelines have moved up from 2030 to now. Okay. People will talk about CERN. I believe that CERN played a role. I believe that CERN started playing a role in 2012. I believe it probably started playing a role, honestly, in 2000, but I think that it was released to the public in 2012. I believe that in 2000 Y2K, when everyone said like, oh my god, all the systems are going to go down, everything's going to restart, I think, and this is what Rashad Jamal, if you guys know about Rashad Jamal, talks about this. He said that there was a spiritual war that happened that our brains were wiped of. Our brains were completely wiped of. We actually did see something happen. We did see essential ETs, whatever, come from the sky, have this spiritual war. We witnessed it, and they erased our memories. And I believe it. I believe it because I have memories like Mandela effects. I have memories that supposedly never happened, but I remember these things happening. I remember experiencing things that supposedly never existed. So who's to say that we're not like Westworld? Who's to say that we are not AIs right now? Who's to say that we aren't alien experiments? that have been altered. Who's to say we don't live in a bubble of an experiment right now? Like, if you guys have watched A Wrinkle in Time, what if this is like the Matrix life here and we're trying to get into the real world? There's so many things that we don't know that could be real. And I believe this is why so much is coming out with CIA documents, because everything has to be revealed now. I think that all of it started. I think that I keep trying to go back as much as I can. I think that in the 60s and 70s, people started waking up because of mushrooms and acid. If you guys haven't watched Netflix How to Change Your Mind, watch that. It talks about like mushrooms and acid and everything. And people had stopped signing up for the military because they loved each other, because acid was making everybody love each other. So then the government gets involved and starts saying, this is going to rot your brain. You're going to want to kill yourself if you take acid. Don't do it. Made it illegal. People had to stop microdosing on that and mushrooms, and caused bigger depression. Okay. Then in the 1980s, the military went to, is it I can't remember the word. I can't remember where they went. Not Saudi Arabia. Fuck. I've talked about it before when I talk about Project Looking Glass. If you guys can, if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I don't remember. It's something with an S. Sumerians. Okay. So thank you. The US military went to wherever the old Sumerian grounds used to be, because back in the day there were Sumerians, and they had access to alien technology. And the aliens had come, six-dimensional beings had come and had given them a crystal, like a crystal. Okay. This crystal could show them the future of what was coming, because they were high enough in vibration and frequency to activate the crystal to show them what was coming. It was essentially like a looking glass. Okay. So the aliens, the ETs, were like, we're going to leave this piece of technology behind for you so that you can see when you're going to be attacked and you guys can defend yourselves. Well, at that time, they didn't have technology to, like, phones to tell everybody. I don't understand how they had so much technology, but they didn't have technology enough to alert everybody the fact that they were going to be attacked, and the Sumerians got wiped out and the crystal was left behind on those lands. Now, modern day, in the 1980s, the US military went to those grounds, and that crystal was actually put away somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was put away somewhere, and someone from the US military found it. Sounds like stealing, but okay. Found it and then turned it into the US military officials, government, and everything. At this point, our government now has a hold of Project of the Looking Glass, and they're trying to figure out how to get it to activate. And the only way that it'll activate is if someone from at least a fourth dimensional being or beyond stands in front of it and can activate it. So they end up finding someone who's vibrating at this frequency, get it to activate, and it shows them all of the timelines of what humanity is going to do if certain things happen. This is why I believe that then in the 1990s, things started shifting for us into this weird realm. I think that that's when Clinton started talking about cloning. This is around in 1983 to 1995. It's also when we have the spiritual war and humanity loses the spiritual war. I believe that we lost the spiritual war because we were very consumed by consumerism and materialistic things and Hollywood and vanity. And there was just a lot of things that were not important that humanity decided was. At this point, credit cards start coming out. Credit wasn't a thing before the 1980s. Credit cards start coming out. You know, you're supposed to have a great credit score so that you can buy a home. You used to be able to buy a home like nothing. Then it becomes this whole thing. Everything shifts. The whole paradigm shifts. Clinton starts talking about cloning. The first clone sheep comes out. I mean, there's a lot that happens in the 90s. Okay. At this point, we also have what's going on with Disney and Nickelodeon. I believe that Disney, Hollywood, all that, they are all a part of these big corporations that are in charge, like BlackRock and everything else, that are a part of the elite system, that have been around forever because they just keep cloning themselves and transferring their consciousness. And they are trying to write the story and have been writing the story for a long time until we finally are seeing what's going on. I think that this is why then all these new Disney kids come out, all these new Nickelodeon kids come out, and then to now find out that our favorite performers, our favorite actors, our favorite shows all went through so much horribleness because of at the hands of Hollywood, at the hands of being trafficked, what Disney is doing with taking kids to an island. I mean, so much darkness has come out, the truth about what we grew up with. So our childhood was shattered, knowing what everybody has been through. And when we were striving, our goals was to be these people. We were idolizing these celebrities. We were putting them on pedestals. We're trusting our government that they're doing what's best for us, that they're working for us. We're putting our faith in the government, that why would they ever take our tax money and use it for kids? We put our faith in the people who were supposed to be these grand people that we thought. And now what I believe happened is that in 2000, because we were so consumed with all the bullshit, we lost the awakening. We lost the spiritual war of waking up to the truth. So we stayed asleep. 2000 hit, and then it's like everything started falling apart after that. Like 9/11 happened, Britney Spears died in 2001 in a car accident and then came back alive. Everybody starts breaking up, and it's like it seems like it's one tragedy after another tragedy after another tragedy after another tragedy, and it's been like that since 2000. It's just been going. And so millennials have just had to survive one day at a time, because it feels like as long as we've been alive, the world is going to end. It feels like the world was always going to end from the minute we were born, like it feels like everything was just stacked against us. Like, so credit scores weren't invented until the late 1980s. And now I have to have a good credit score to buy a home. Also, since when do mortgage rates go up? I'm watching so many TikToks of people saying my mortgage went up $1,000, my mortgage went up $3,000. Our parents never had to worry about mortgage rates going up. You own a home, you own a home. That's the point. It's like our parents were able to go to college for free. We had to get student loans to go to college, to be told. We were sold on a dream, we were sold on a vision, we were sold on a path. Go to school, get into college, get a loan to get out of college. When you get out of college, you'll have a bachelor's degree and you can get a good paying job, you can get a house, and then you're all set for life. What happened? Every single time they sold us on something, the time that we got to the achievement, they took it away from us and said, actually, it's not like that anymore. Yeah, but you told me, yeah, that sucks. So we changed the rules now because we didn't think you'd actually do it. Okay, so you did it. So now we're going to change the rules on you. So now if you want this, you need to do this. And we're like, oh, well, that sucks, but okay, I'll do that. And then you do that. Look at the sirens. And then you do that. And then they go, oh, we changed the rules again. Yeah. And I feel like it's because millennials are the second wave of volunteers. I believe the first wave of volunteers, if you guys don't know about Dolores Cannon, began in the 1960s, 70s, I want to say. And then the second wave of volunteers was like 1980s, around there, which are a lot of millennials. And then we had the third wave of volunteers right at the 2000 mark, right? So it feels like millennials get shit on and got fucked over every which way we possibly could. And then the boomer generation wants to shit on us for whatever whatever they want to say, and then Gen Z shits on us for whatever, and we're like, we had to deal with the shit you set up for us and set us up for failure. We had to come in and fix it so that Gen Z could have something better, and then they shit on us anyway. What the fuck did we do? We're like the little lost stepchild, like the middle child, the little ginger redhead, like literally me, middle child. That's what it feels like to be a millennial. It's like, yeah, whatever way you try to find to do something, we will fuck you over. I'm like, damn, millennials are so strong. We had to go through so much. And we still, oh my God, crow right in front of my window. And we still are getting through it. We still are pushing through. And I'm so proud of us because we have to reparent ourselves. We are the first ones that really became aware of the cycles that our parents, and now this is just a general consensus. Like, obviously, there's been people from every generation that have done this. I'm just saying, generally, as a group, because we do have the biggest group too. Millennials have the biggest group that were born since baby boomers, since the boomer generation. We're huge. We have so many of us. And I believe we really came here to help with this transition. I believe that we went through a lot because we have a big goal and we have a big mission. And I believe that what's going on is we're remembering that these reptilian beings had come to our star system and our planets and destroyed our families in the past, and we're going to fight them. And this is how we're doing it now. And back in the day, we used to have to fight physically, whereas now we fight spiritually. And we just fight spiritually by not giving into their bullshit, realizing that they're not that important, that we don't need to have all these material things, that we don't need to have the nicest car and the nicest watch and the jewelry and the surgery and the house, and like, we don't need any of that shit because it doesn't matter. Look what all those people did. They sell their souls, or they come back as their reptilians just shapeshifting into humans to have this glamorous life that isn't really glamorous. I think that our mission was to come and to help people realize that. Millennials, I feel like, are very old souls that have done this, a lot of times, and we're ready. We're ready to be done with our mission. But like I said, there's people from all the ages, all the generations. It's just it's been a group effort. It's been a group effort to try to figure out what is going on in this reality. So I think that I've talked a lot. I've been on here for an hour. So okay, I got you guys caught up on timeline wise. I feel like this year is going to be really good. Last year was good. I feel like this year is going to be even better. We are entering now we're in Pisces moon, and we're entering now into this new year. The spring is really our new year, not winter, not in the middle of winter is not our new year. Everything's been changed to keep us asleep. And so now we're entering the new real year. So I'm super excited to see what's headed our way. I do have a mushroom ceremony coming up with Emily on I believe it's May 9th and 10th. If you guys are interested in joining, let me know. Let's see, what else do I have coming up? Well, that's it right now, but I just want to let you guys know about that. Yeah, so I haven't really updated you on my personal life as far as the dating goes. I know people want to know, how did I realize I like girls? And that's going to have to be a story for another time. Will I do it on a live? I don't know. Or will I do it on a video separately? I don't know. Because sometimes I be talking and saying too much. And I want to be respectful of everybody when I tell the story, but it also is my story. And sometimes the story's got to be told. I will keep people's names out of it, and I'll do the best that I can to conceal everybody's identity, but it's my story. And if you know me, you know that I always tell my stories and usually don't conceal names. I will usually say names. When I first started YouTube, well, I started YouTube like 15 years ago, but I never stayed consistent. So if anybody out here is trying to figure out like how to actually do something, stay consistent. Okay, consistency is key for anything. You know, if you want to lose weight, you work out, you want to, be a costume designer, you want to, whatever it is you want to do, consistency is key. Stay consistent. It will work out. The only time that it won't work out for you is when you stop. When you give up, you'll never know how you could have quit 5 minutes before the miracle happened. You have to keep going. Okay. You have to stay consistent. But when I first started, I started off doing like skits. I started doing parodies and stuff like that. But what I really got into story times around 2016, I want to say I really got into story times, and I love story times videos. I love long form videos. I love just being able to listen to people talk and share their stories. So this is something that I would like to continue doing. I would love my sister to be in the office all the time, but my sister does work from home and she'll randomly go into the office. And so today she randomly went into the office, which is why I was like, hey, let me go live and film this video. I like being alone when I'm filming stuff like this because she's busy, she's on calls, I don't want to interrupt her, and I just like being alone when I'm doing my videos. So when I started doing my story time videos, I remember I was sharing stories about people that I still worked with at the time at Chili's. And they would like see my videos and like, oh my God, she made a video about you. And I'm like, I didn't know y'all were watching me. The fuck, you weird little stalkers. But I'm like, I'm just telling my stories because, like, to me, I'm like, these people don't matter. I care about my content. I don't talk to you guys anymore. Who cares? I don't care if we work together. You're weird. I'm gonna tell the story. So if you guys want to hear any of my storytime videos, they are under my videos under storytimes. I think I have a playlist, and so you guys could watch those. But thanks for hanging out, you guys. I wish I could explain it as good as you did to my parents, but I think I wouldn't even help. My parents don't get it either. So don't waste your breath on people who don't want to learn. Let them live their journey. I think that I had to learn that because I came from a place of wanting people to believe me and understand me because of Christianity. I came from a place of wanting to be heard, and I still want to be heard. But I realized that you can't win the entire world over ever. No, and the bigger you are, the more hate you're gonna get. And that's why, like, I'll talk shit on J-Lo and shit, and I'm like, yeah, people are like, "Oh, you're such a hater." I don't give a fuck. People make shit videos about me. It's a part of the industry. It's a part of it just comes along with the job. The bigger you are, the more hate you're gonna get. Who cares? You just have to take the good with the bad and just talk to the people that you want to talk to and ignore the rest. You don't have to engage with the haters. You don't have to engage with that. And I used to, and I've come a long way because you guys know it's been a difficult journey to get here. But I had to go through all that because I know that I have to become bigger, I got to be stronger. And so you're not going to overcome obstacles if you're never thrown into the lion's den, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You got to go in there. The only way out is through. And if you want more success, you got to deal with more shit. So that's how that is. So anyways, I didn't even tell you guys about the Meta call, but that was really cool. Yeah, they just like called me to talk about my content. She's like, I've been watching your content. You do like celebrity stuff, like really cool conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you should definitely use Threads more. She was just giving me like tips on how to get a wider audience. But she was like, what do you think? She was like asking me questions, and I was like, girl, let me tell you everything. I didn't even have anything written down. And she had texted me this morning, like, I will be calling you today. Make sure you have your questions ready. I don't have any questions ready. I was the fuck. I didn't think somebody was gonna call me. And then she called and I was like, oh fuck. And so then I just told her, like, listen, this is what's wrong with Instagram. TikTok might be getting banned. If Instagram can work on the way the format, if it could be more like TikTok is very user friendly. If Instagram can work on that, like especially the green screen feature, if reels can be longer than 90 seconds, I don't understand why they only have to be 90 seconds. I said Instagram isn't paying me for reels, so I'm not making any money off this. Like, I'm gonna have to switch my content over to YouTube or Snapchat. Like, I told her all the things. I said my follower count is going down, like people are being deleted, and it's not just bots, it's actual people messaging me. I said, look at my follower count. For as many as I gain, I lose. I said I reached 250,000 accounts. I use 250,000 accounts a month, and I only have 33,000 followers. I was like, this doesn't add up. Like, there's this. I told her all the issues, and she was pretty much just like, okay, yeah, like it's not just you. Instagram did get away with the paying for the reels. I'm like, yeah, I know it's bullshit. And she's like just sitting here giving me tools, tips, and tricks on like how to reach a wider audience. Because she's like, you're a really good content creator. Like, this is what I think you should be doing to reach more people. She was like, what's your definition of a success? Is it based on the numbers? And I was like, well, I base it off numbers because that's essentially my resume. So if I want to partner up with brands or talk to people, I need to be able to show them that this is how many I reach. And so if Instagram is fucking with my numbers, then that's fucking with my resume essentially. And she pretty much couldn't help with that shit because that's like logistics that she does not have access to. She's like, I will email you, I'll send you like a report link. And I was like, well, the problem is that we feel like there's no real people behind this. I feel like it's all AIs and it's all bots, and that you guys should have more people. Like, this is crazy. I didn't think a real human was going to call me to have this conversation. So you guys should have more real people. Like, I was like, is this like a new program you guys just started? She's like, yeah, we're reaching out to like our content creators to talk about how they can reach a wider audience. And it's like, okay, great. Thank you so much for giving me these tips, but also pay me. I was like, I'm doing this for free because it's my passion and because I love it. And I'm hoping that at some point someone will see me, because I'm also an entertainer and I like to be in front of the camera, that someone will pick me up for something, but it's annoying. So first thing she said is consistency, which I'm already doing. She's like, you seem to be very consistent. Like, your reel from the other day got so many hits. I'm like, I know, girl, pay me. Okay, consistency. Hashtags, which again, I've already been doing hashtags. Hashtags are really good to get like-minded people. Trending audios on reels. I do not do that because I don't film. I don't film within the Instagram app. I film within TikTok, but obviously if anything happens to TikTok, I will be having to film within the Instagram app. She said using captions on post will generate more audience because more people like to read what they're listening to, and I do not put captions on my posts. Post on Thread. She said that posting on Thread will help you gain audience for both on Threads and on Instagram. You can link your reels, your pictures from Instagram to Threads and vice versa. Also start a conversation on Threads, like asking questions, starting a poll, anything to get the audience engaged is going to help your engagement rate on Threads. And you want to also follow other like-minded creators and start engaging with them as well, so that you can essentially build a little community, which is what I was trying to do on TikTok, but everybody's fake as fuck over there, so fuck them. But that's essentially what you want to do. It's like YouTube has their little communities, like Vine had their little communities, and that's what I thought TikTok was going to be, but everybody's out there for themselves and led them. Okay, I'm good. But if you want to build a community like on Threads or Instagram, it's good to do that and engage with people. And yeah, repost your stuff onto Instagram from Threads. So I will try to post more on Threads. It's essentially like a new Twitter. She said you can do GIFs and memes, and you can get a good audience there. I don't know what the point is if I'm not getting paid again, but I do all this shit for free anyway. So that's the tea for now, you guys. I'll let you guys know next time. If my sister lets me know she's going to be going off into the office another day, then I can schedule another live and hopefully let you guys know ahead of time, and we can do another story time or catch up on there. Or I like doing it live because it just posts right away and I don't have to transfer the file like from my phone over to the computer. So I do like doing that. But I know when you like do a video, then I can edit and do stuff, but I don't like doing that. I like to do things, shoot and post raw. I like it raw, honestly. So that's the tea, y'all. If you guys want to join me on Close Friends on Instagram, send me a DM. There is a monthly fee, like a subscription to join Close Friends to get all the details on my life if you want to know all the tea. You can make money off Snapchat. Yes. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be trying to focus on now. My sister told me that I can just post onto my stories and that Snapchat automatically adds like ads or something. And then people will accidentally click on ads, I guess, kind of like the YouTube thing. And then you can make money that way. So I am going to try to start posting on Snapchat. I want to make sure I have everything right. I'm doing everything right. I don't even know how it works, but I used to use Snapchat until 2016 and then I stopped and now I don't know how to use it anymore. Okay, guys, before I go, let's pull an alien card. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see what they have. The Mystic Martian Oracle, what they're going to pull for us. We're on an hour and 14-minute live. Let's see what. Look at my pillow. Inhale, exhale, breathe. Just breathe through it. Sometimes it'll take a second because. Oh, there it is. Oh, exactly what we were talking about. Golden ratio, beauty, nature, patterns. Look at that. I said the universe is geometry. You guys, what confirmation is that? The spiral. I said we've done this so many times. Wow. Talk about confirmation. Golden ratio, beauty, nature, patterns. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you guys. I love that. I love pulling cards because it's always exactly what I was talking about. Do you guys want me to pull a Brittany card? Let's see. Let's end it with Brittany. Brittany girl, what do you have for us? Let's see. Brittany's been posting today too, so let's see what Brittany has. Brittany must be getting tired of me. Sometimes she did get tired of me. One time she snapped at me. I was like, damn, all right, my bad, Brittany. I was talking for her too much, so I had to back off. She didn't want anybody to talk for her. She wanted to be able to tell her story her way, and I was interfering, so I had to shut the fuck up. Oh, my nose itches. Okay, Brittany, can you give me a card, please? I don't know how people do it when they do it a different way. This is the only way I know how I like to do it, to pick a card. But she's not giving me a card today. Okay, this one jumped out. The spotlight. That's why she took a minute. The spotlight. Let's see what the spotlight says. The other deck doesn't have a booklet. In 2016, fresh off the release of her album Glory, Brittany took the VMA stage to perform for the first time since 2007 and looked stunningly elegant and poised on the red carpet. She wore a sophisticated black cutout cocktail dress ready to hit the stage where she had created some of the most iconic performances of all time. The spotlight is a symbol of perseverance and reinvention, of returning to your roots and of navigating life's constant ups and downs. New perspectives can be the most enlightening. So when you're feeling stuck, put yourself in Brittany's Louboutins and see things through new eyes. Oh my God, I love that. Love it. Thank you, Brittany. She be taking a minute, but she do be pulling through when she comes through. So love that. Let's see what she's going to be posting today. She's going to come out with something soon enough. She's taking a minute. So there we go, you guys. Thanks for hanging out on my live. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you to everybody that joined, and hopefully I'll be doing more of these and we can have more group discussions. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.